right, guys.
All right, guys.
You just performed at Uzin. How did the show go?
Jackie Mason. All right, guys.
All right.
Let's go.
So yeah, how did the show go?
This shit was terrible, man. I'll never forget this night, man. It's just terribleness. You know what? Keep the camera rolling. I'm just gonna, you don't gotta fucking just change my hat. Get a little bit more fly. Yeah, it was a bad memory, man. It was like, I just can't, deal with nights like this with these terrible crowds. Depressing. Nights like this. Nights like this. You know that song, The Five Heartbeats?
I don't.
That was Eddie. Remember that scene in the back?
Yeah.
Nights like this. Yo, Afro's a manic depressant.
Feel the lyrics in the mind structure of a speech, make it hurt when you think, make it hurt for the speed. Pages turning when I think, make the version in the weeds, minute of the back in the weed, afraid of the burning in the screen.
Man,
He's only happy if you give him chocolate milk. He's like, have a glass of chocolate milk, and he's like smiles and shit, and he's happy.
Is this your first international tour?
No, I had one last year with RA.
Alright, through Europe as well?
Yeah. I think this is my first time in Geneva, though.
Geneva, motherfuckers!
You guys first time in Geneva as well?
He's a world traveler now, the kid, man. Yeah.
First solo set though, right?
This is his first solo set ever
First solo.
in Europe.
Yeah, definitely Europe. Yeah.
Held it down.
He's rocking it.
Alright. And
Yo, how'd you get that accent? That's how they
just
talk.
kind of happened, man.
That's how they talk in Switzerland.
It's all from a young age. Man.
He said, I.
He seems American to me though.
Oh, he definitely don't seem American. He's like Tintin, man.
Little bit of rhyme, come by with a punchline, come tight with a one line, but a run by sometimes like a run walk, as a one side, shot that left side, my nigga, unwind.
We're saying
You learned that today, though, man. You're already using references and shit.
Yeah, it's how, freestyle humor.
So you have a song called "Every Record Label Sucks Dick," and it's becoming a saying that's associated to you. Does this refer to all record labels, just in general?
Even my own, ask Afro.
My own record label sucks.
So is it
My
just the
own
top
record
four,
label
really?
sucks dick. My own record, Afro's like, I haven't put a record out in years. Every record label sucks dick.
But you're signed to a label. Is it an indie label or?
I'm not signing a label. I do records with Devin Horowitz from Nature Sounds, and I've been working with him for quite a few years and over a decade. And he sucks dick too. His label, they a lot of things that I'm very angry about, but they're all snakes and weirdos. So he's probably the best of the snakes and weirdos. So I deal with him, and he treats me okay. And I love the guy, even though. He's still Devin, the sneaky record label guy. So, I work with him, and Dev's my man, But he's definitely, every record label sucked dick. And like, why didn't I find out my song was in a video game, Dev? Can I please get a check for that? Oh, yeah, we got that. All right. But
I didn't know about that.
No, but the checks do come. He does.
Dev won't hit. He doesn't hit you back for like 8 weeks sometimes, and then he'll come with the illest news ever. He'll be like, "Oh, this happened." I'm like, "Damn, fuck
That's
you,
because
Dev."
Devin wears like 4,000 fucking hats. He's like, I'm on a boat with MF Doom for 5 weeks.
Exactly, yo.
I'm doing this fundraiser for Della's mom. Oh, I got RA's record coming out. I'm distributing 17 reggae artists. So he's just fucking, So I think Devin means well. But he's just got his hands full. And this is a boring interview. Nobody in Switzerland even knows who the fuck Devin is. Nature Sounds record. They did they got one of the illest rosters. MF Doom, Pete Rock, Jay Dilla, Ray the Rugged Man. What else? They got a million things that they done in their days, man. Did you remember anything?
Master Killer, you said that?
Oh yeah,
They've done a lot of Wu-Tang stuff. I know
the
that
Hellraiser album, The Renaissance Child, is one of the dopest records ever that people don't even know. So I guess that's not a good look for Master Killer's the man.
Yeah, I remember. I knew the music already of yours, of course, you know. But then I saw you in a video with ODB and Master Killer.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh shit, is that him? That's the fucking guy from the songs." And then I was like, "Nature Sound." Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. That was one of ODB's final videos. You know, he came down. They had me play like a '70s fucking barbecue, like barbecuing on the chef. They did. Timbo came. We all dressed up like the '70s.
And he was like, "I want 2 beef patties, special sauce on a sesame seed bun."
Yeah.
I want 2 beef patties with onions, special sauce, cheese on the special sauce, sesame seed bun.
He just
Big
quoted the
dummy.
McDonald's
That's the
commercial,
killer.
and that shit was genius. I just don't care what anyone says. That shit was genius.
Master Killer is one of the dope, good dudes in the game too. And he's one of them dudes that don't take no shit if you fuck with him and punch you in the face. Well, historically, that's what he was like. Maybe he calmed down in the years, but all the stories I heard, he, you know, calm, cool, most respectable dude. But he's the one that you don't cross. In fact, you know the legend about the Source writer that wrote a little something or did the comic about Wu-Tang Clan back in the early 90s? And you know the story, right?
You told me the story. Yeah.
I heard they whooped some people's asses.
No, well, this killer supposedly showed up, you know, allegedly, showed up at this kid's house, knocked on the door. The mother, he said, "Hey, so-and-so," and he knocked the kid out in the mother's house. That's when Wu-Tang was first getting on it. It's like, yo. Yeah.
I heard a few stories like that back in the 90s. And they still do it now, I think. But writers should watch it sometimes. You know what I mean? I know writer kids, and sometimes like, "Oh, well, we watch what we say now."
Yeah,
Because
but most writers are not educated musically. You know, like if you bring them in the studio, like even their positive critiques are usually wrong. Like they really don't know. They just kind of go with what they're told and what their staff writers and their bosses feel, and it's all like the same machine saying the same thing, and they're too afraid to go against what somebody else might say, so they just. Most music critics are not musical. Like that's the game. You know, it's just same thing with most record label people aren't musical, so they're too scared to make decisions. Like something you got to go with, like somebody like a Puff Daddy, where people shitted on him because he was commercial, but he had a historical context to hip hop, and he was a musical guy, and he kind of understood what was going to work, what was not going to work. Where like the music people today, kind of they just take. Well, that's getting a lot of YouTube views. Oh, this is getting a lot of hype. This sound is right, and they just copy shit. Where like even a guy like Leo Cohen at Def Jam, like he said when he first heard Redman, and Redman did that line, doom dom dong ba doom dong ding, extremely wild like the hair on Don King. He was like when he heard that line, he's like, let's sign him. You know, it wasn't about how many fucking Twitter follows he has. It's like, yo, that line, that's some next level fucking character shit, you know. So, you know, that's a little bit what's missing from writers, record label people, the balls to just put their balls on the fucking table and say, I don't care if nobody gets this. He said, doom dong dong ba doom dong ding, extremely wild like the hair on Don King. So boom, record deal, you know. So.
Yeah, you always you talk a lot about the other big figures in hip hop, particularly the founders. Would you say that the big three are Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap, and Rakim?
Well, those are the golden era kings. Oh, he was. Let my man answer. I seen him. He was ready.
Well, to me, I worship those guys. I mean, I think everybody's top three is very opinionated. But if someone were to say, if 3 people were to tell me like each of those 3 were their favorite rapper, I'd be like, hell yeah. I'd be like, hell yeah. But you know, there's a lot of pioneers that have been in the game a little longer than that have definitely originated it, but those 3 are some of my definitely.
But unquestionably, I think those guys are definitely all top 10, you know, and each one of them could be argued to be number one, you know. And I rate those guys higher than a lot of people, you know. That's the golden era, 88, lyrical golden era. You know, some people like the 90s production, and, you know, a lot of hip-hop was, like, a lot of underground hip-hop was going commercial, like Wu-Tang was selling 1 million records, you know, like, these records were, you know, Big Pun was selling 2 million records, you know, so that was a lot of people's golden era. But to me, lyrically, when you had KRS, Rakim, Kool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, Chuck D, Public Enemy, you know, that to me was the lyrical, you know, height of history. That was the golden era to me, you know. But Kane would say, you know what, Michael, but he might say Grandmaster Caz, Kool Mo D, Devastating Tito, you know, that might be Kane. Like I said, I was just telling them, I went to see the Cold Crush Brothers in Harlem a couple years back, and it was Ice-T came through. Like, it wasn't even people there, like the fans, it was like 50 people, but it was like the crowd was Big Daddy Kane, Roxanne Shante, Kango from UTFO, Ice-T, and they were there, like the fans, because this was the first time Cold Crush performed together in a long time at this particular show. So, like, you know, the way we're like Kane, Rakim, you know, Kane and Rakim and them is like Grandmaster Caz, you know. So the same way Nas is like Rakim, and then, like, say a new school rapper, like say somebody, just a random rapper, Terminology, he'll be like, yo, Big Pun and Jadakiss, you know, like, so everybody got, you know, their time. But in my opinion, I don't think none of them rappers after that was, to me, the hype, because the golden era at 88 was before it became super corporate. So the record sales that were coming in from rap were actually hip-hop lovers. Everybody that bought a Big Daddy Kane record loved hip-hop. It wasn't like no commercial single. It wasn't like a marketable personality. It wasn't like somebody's fucking Kim Kardashian. It was like, you know, I'm Rakim the God, and I'm a lyrical god. You know, it was like, I'm Chuck D. My voice is Martin Luther King in rap voice, and I will tell the word. And it wasn't, but, you know, I love multi flows and you know, all the stuff Kane did, and then G Rap, and then Pun after that, and all of that stuff. I love all of that stuff. But then you get somebody like Chuck, who could take 3 words: fight the power, bring the noise. He didn't need multi-syllable. He could hit you. 911 is a joke. Flavor, you know, it was like they could hit you with the heaviest message, and like, bow, can't trust it. They didn't need 1 million, you know, lyrical words. So it's all different eras, you know.
Well, Worldwide Connects, which is the organization that you're working with on this, is gonna might have the chance to interview Big Daddy Kane in December, I think. Yeah, in December. So, what do you think are questions we should ask him?
Oh man, Kane is my idol, man. Kane is my idol, and you know what's crazy with Kane is I did a festival with him and De La and Kendrick Lamar and everybody, and when Kane was rocking on stage, Kane was like, "How many y'all here to see Ari the Rugged Man?" And I was like, I made it right there. Kane shouted me out, you know. So I don't know what to ask him. Just say, hey, how does it feel to be one of the greatest rappers of all time, man? That's who he is.
Did he bang Madonna?
He denies that, but
I say ask him about it, though. I interview people too sometimes, and if Kane happened to interview with me, I'd ask him if he banged Madonna.
he's married now. He's like, nah. You know what?
But I would tell him, just for being a person that we believe you might have banged Madonna,
be like, listen,
because that was in the 80s. You know what I mean? It's not easy. It's
everybody
never been
thinks.
easy, but I'm sorry.
Everybody thinks you're lying, Kane. You fucked Madonna. Don't even ask him. Just tell him. Right?
The president would tell him, you had sex with Madonna. That's what we believe. That's the truth.
You know, supposedly Kane had every night after the show, he had lines of women just at the hotel, and he would, you come in. That's just rumors I heard, you know.
So yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right.
You better be sorry. He was talking.
Kane's the man.
So yeah, as well as supporting the old school a lot, you're also supporting a lot of up-and-coming rappers, in particular Afro. So what was your first reaction when you heard his contest entry to Definition of a Rap?
I said, that's an old school ass rapper. Dude's from the old school. Wait, he's 16? I thought he was old school. He's an old soul, man.
How old did he think he was? Like, if
I
you
thought
had
he was like
age.
57. Nah, with all his references, I thought he was in his 30s though, because you know he had a lot of golden era references. But he's really Curtis Mayfield's soul. He's just like some old ass man. Like Curtis Mayfield passed at 26 and would have been what, like 60 something now. He's just Curtis Mayfield. He's an old guy. Nah, he's not. That's too young. He's like Nat King Cole or some shit.
With video games and iPhones and shit.
Yeah. He's Nat King Cole with the internet.
So yeah, Afro, you just released a project called Tales from the Basement.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a story behind that name?
No, I mean, I was just thinking of, we were thinking of a little cool mixtape, and I was thinking very Tales from the Crypt. I was watching that show a lot, and I was like, I love this stuff. And I was like, I'd love to name, like, you know, like a project, something like that. And then RA would be like, yo, we should call something like something from like my mom's basement, something like that. And I was kind of like, Tales from the Basement.
Because the one thing I was worried about, because, you know, he recorded that right in like the home studio type of thing, you know, on the computer, you know, like that kind of thing. So I didn't want nobody to think like, yo, this is his official music. I wanted to let them know that he's just rhyming in the basement. So he was like, yo, Tales from the Basement. And he said, yo, give me some dark Tales from the Basement type of visuals. So the kid Matt put the little visuals together. He's like, I love it. So we just want to keep the word basement in there just so they know that this isn't a big mix on the board, and this is the dude in his basement murdering you, you know? So, yeah.
All right.
I didn't mean to talk for you, kid.
It's all right.
That was the best part of the whole interview.
Feels like a...
So yeah, we imagine you've gotten a lot of good feedback from what you've done so far. Is there anyone whose praise in particular like matters more to you?
Oh, he's a sweet kid. Fuck R.A. the Rugged Man. Jamie Foxx just shouted him out. I'm a
That
piece
happened
of
while
shit.
we were here,
Saw
right?
that.
We were out here and that happened.
He's like, that's how, he's like, yo, R.A. likes my shit. I'm like, yo, Jamie Foxx likes your shit, motherfucker.
It still
Fuck
blows
R.A.
my mind
No,
a
I'm
lot.
just
A
kidding.
lot of this shit blows my mind. I'm like, oh, damn.
We're
But
trying to
it's
get...
deserved, but it's like, damn, that's what it can do.
Yeah,
you
when
know?
Chris Brown posted his shit.
He listens to us, you know what I mean? That's how it feels for me. I'm kind of just with them, but it's still like, damn, Chris Brown listens to us. And fuck that. Anyway, fuck Chris Brown, but still, it's like, he listens to our shit, you know what I mean? It's
It
crazy.
ain't fuck Chris Brown.
Not fuck Chris Brown.
Well,
fuck,
no, you know...
Yeah.
fuck the whole big, like the mainstream world, but it's crazy that they do
Well,
pay
here's the
attention
thing,
to what
I
we
don't-
do in our basements and in our living rooms and in regular people do. We're basically regular.
But here's the thing, like when I posted about Jamie Foxx shouting him out, some people like, oh, keep him away from the mainstream. And I was like, yo, there is nothing wrong with a mainstream human being shouting out somebody who's being himself and being a real MC, and it's just dope being dope. So like, I tried to explain on the computer. I told them, I said, yo, in the 90s, Wu-Tang Clan was a super commercial group. They were selling millions of records and millions of dollars in merchandise. Wu-Tang Clan was a super commercial group, but their music was basement. Their music was gutter. They were underground hip-hop, but it was advertised and it was in the mainstream media. Public Enemy before that was shipping 1 million copies the first week through Def Jam, and they had the most militant message on the planet. So I'm saying, like, you know, it's a good thing if you can get legitimate hip-hop music, any kind of, you know, form in the mainstream media, because today that's not what's happening. The mainstream media is busy showing you, you know, Nicki Minaj's ass and Azalea's ass, you know, a little rhyme here or there, or it has to be pumped in the Interscope machine. If you're not in the Interscope machine, they're not going to play you on the radio. So, like, yeah, I said, like, yo, if the mainstream media was pushing Kool G Rap, Rakim, Brother Ali, Afro, R.A. the Rugged Man, Mr. Green, and Malik B, wouldn't that be a good fucking thing? That would be a good thing. But, like, people go, oh, fuck the mainstream. No. Fuck what's in the mainstream. Let's try to push our shit to get heard in that, you know. But with the corporate machines, they're against us. It's not easy. So if a mainstream figurehead like a guy like a Jamie Foxx says, "Yo, I fuck with Afro," that's a good thing.
Questlove and people like
Questlove, like, yo, he's the future. Like, you know, those are big endorsements by mainstream personalities, you know, and that's a good thing.
What's exciting to me is that it happened naturally, you know? Like, no one asked for, oh, please, everyone like, you know? We just put it out. They put it out, and then that's the reaction, you know? It's like, fuck it. Why not?
Yo, Afro looks like we put him to bed without dinner. Look at him. He just looks sad.
You guys are very hungry. Very hungry.
You want some snacks? We got like hummus and crap. So carrot sticks. He's like, I need a pizza. See, in America, we got gross places to eat late night, like Denny's and the Waffle fucking House, and we eat this greasy, gross food and want to die afterwards. But now in Europe, when there's nothing open, we want to die because we're not eating anything.
It's too late for carrot sticks.
You cool for a little longer, right?
Of course, yeah.
Of
course.
So is there anyone that you think that as lyricists we should study? Like what rappers, like if we were to put it down to like an educational thing, like how to rap?
Well, you brought up Kane, and I think flow-wise and vocal delivery is so smooth. His vocal delivery on his first 2 albums, even his 3rd album, was just so smooth, and he would put these intricate flows into things, but it was the way his voice enunciated it and the clarity with those super flows. So where today people do these fast flows, but they got these annoying voices. Kane sounded like the embodiment of a hip hop vocalist, but could do everybody's flow better than everybody. And you put him on stage, and no one could outperform Kane. Kane is one of the great performers. So Kane is definitely one to study. Who do you think they should study? He'll say Jizza probably.
Jizza, yo, I mean,
vocabulary.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, Jizza's like what he thinks and like his science, mathematics, and like he puts it all together in rhyme form. Like before him, I was like, wow. And I would say Killer Priest in rhyme wave, study him. But as like pioneers go, Kumo D, definitely Kumo D. Like RA showed me a video when he was performing on Arsenio. I don't think he took a whole breath. He was walking around the whole stadium rhyming.
Not missing a beat with the flow.
Nothing.
And the vocal
straight up.
So rap can't capture Moji's rapture, and after I have to slap you senseless with endless rhymes. So pretending is anything short of dependent. When this rhyme is done, your mind will become so trapped in the rap, you lust another one. But you gotta wait. It takes time. I don't write, I build the rhyme. Draw the plans, draft the diagrams, and architect effect in its slams. And if it's weak and I'm done, renovate, build another one, go to work.
Like it was like a track, listening to one of his tracks, and he was performing it live.
And he was dancing, rocking it, getting the crowd hype, and his voice sounded like perfection.
He's incredible.
They don't have too many performers like that no more, man.
He's definitely one to study. Definitely.
And so,
what MC do you think they should study?
Honestly, I know not everyone likes him. Like I remember I was hanging with Sean P, rest in peace, and he was like, I don't like that guy that much. I was like, you don't like that? Big L. He had the 3 in a row syllables, but the whole line would make so much sense. You know what I mean? Like he'd be like, 3 in a row. Your girl seen B in the hoe. You know, like my foot in the. I don't know.
I agree.
Big L. The 3 in a row syllable thing. I don't think anyone had that better. And then he might have like 5, 6 in a row sometimes. Boom.
Yeah, L's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he died way too soon.
Yeah.
I fuck with his acapellas. I'll take like a Big L acapella and just throw it over my beat for like an hour. Just listen to that shit.
And what about producer-wise? Anyone
To
should
study production-wise, Green's the producer. You start this one off.
All right, Dilla, but because he would take the sample and make it sound like something way different, but better sometimes. You know, a lot of producers don't switch it up that much. And then my favorite is really Primo. But when you said study, you should study how the fuck Dilla used to take this sample and make it sound that way, because it's crazy some of the stuff he would do. But as far as the straight chopping and drums and my favorite songs, Primo, 100%. Primo, that's who I studied the most, you know? But now that I'm more technical with it, I listen to Jay Dilla like, what the fuck did he do to that snare to make it sound like that? what the fuck? He's got a brother, Illa J. I need to interview him. You know, I just want to know sometimes. Like, yo, what the fuck were you guys doing? I feel like they recorded the snare into like these pipes, like in the ceiling. You know what I mean? And then it came out the other side. They recorded it. And it was just it's the same snare, but it's Illa now. You know what I mean? Whereas a lot of people, when they use the sound, it's still the same sound, and you can identify it. And I'm trying to get there where I fuck with the sound, and even if I use a sample, it's not the same way it was when I first touched it. You know what I mean? So, studying Dilla, my favorite songs, Primo, 100%.
You know who's an underrated hip hop producer? Who no one really brings up because he ended up making some huge pop records. But before he did pop records, one of my favorite hip hop producers was a guy, Teddy Riley. And Teddy Riley went on to do Bobby Brown and, you know, all these huge pop records. You know, Michael Jackson. But before that, he produced a show for Dougie Fresh, and he produced all the Kool Moe D's best records, some of Heavy D's biggest records. So Dougie Fresh, Heavy D, Kool Moe D. I mean, like the stuff he was doing.
Bell Biv DeVoe.
Well, Ted was more of an influence on Bell Biv DeVoe. I don't know if he did any of the beats for them, but that New Jack Swing era, that was all Teddy. Or every piece of the New Jack Swing, they all was trying to be Teddy Riley. Guy's album, which isn't even a hip hop album, that's my favorite album of all time, the first Guy album. So Teddy's my favorite producer, just because I was from that era, and it was like there was this kid named Tony T from Harlem that was 14 years old. I think he got killed when he was like 16, 17 years old. But like he did this beat called Express My Thoughts, and it was Teddy pressing them. And this other one raps New Generation, Get On, like all these crazy beats that they sound very 80s, but it's my era. And I just love the New Jack Swing era, and then I loved everything Teddy did when he blew up. I loved all his mainstream work too. I met Teddy in Cali. I saw him in a restaurant. I had a cast on my leg. I had a broken ass leg. Yeah, that from when I did the festival. I was back in Cali, and Teddy, my boy Eamon was like, yo, I think that's Teddy Riley. I was like, Teddy Riley! I like jumped up and like hopped at him with one leg. I didn't even bring my. I was like, yeah, Teddy. And I told Teddy his whole catalog to him. I'm like, and when you did this for Rooftop Records, and he's like, oh yeah, I did that. I did that record. He had a group called Today, and all of their beats was crazy. This song called Him or Me, that was just my era, man. I loved it, man. I loved it. And so I'm not telling you to study Teddy, but he's just one of my favorites. Yeah.
I say for griminess, I worship RZA, but like my favorite RZA is definitely like from '89 Grave Diggers to like I'm gonna say Supreme Clientele, but he didn't really do much on Supreme Clientele. But I say for like griminess, because I love grimy stuff. I think RZA's incredible to study, especially early RZA. Like early RZA, I think is like he's in another world. He's like a mad genius. But that's a lot of my favorite stuff is RZA's grimy stuff, and then Primo, of course, you know Primo.
His favorite produced album of all time is Mecca and the Soul Brothers, though.
Oh, Pete Rock. Oh, okay. Pete Rock is like.
He was like, yo, that's the best produced album of all time. Mecca and the Soul Brother.
Yeah. They had the radio singles.
You said
they actually had radio singles, but it was still the album, you know? Because the Jizza shit didn't really it was so banging, but I can't think of one.
His favorite beat of all time is Troy, They Reminisce Over You. What's your favorite beat of all time? Or one of them?
I don't really do that shit with the top 5 and the top 3.
It's hard, yeah. It's honestly hard. I've heard so much retarded shit, like I was like, wow.
My shit, though, my best beat is my favorite beat of all time. My actual favorite beat, you know? Probably my best beat.
Which one?
Is that a jerk move?
No, which one?
It's not out yet.
No, it's not a jerk move.
Oh my God.
But one of my favorite beats ever is Children Sing, man.
Oh, thank you, man.
Oh, that beat's fucking retarded, man.
I played this shit tonight, and then people were telling me, like, thank you for playing that.
Yeah, that beat is retarded. In fact, you know what's funny?
I wish Pace could have come and rocked that.
Pace,
shout out to Pace, big time.
Pace 1 told me about Green years ago. I was out
at dinner with Shannon Briggs, right?
Yeah,
that's how he first heard of me.
The two-time heavyweight champion Shannon Briggs was like, "Yo, RA, I'm out with my boy. Let's go have some grub. Let's go to back to Brooklyn. Let's hang out. So I spent the birthday with them, and he said, "Oh, this Pace One." I said, "Oh yeah, we heard of each other." And then he's like, "Yo, R.A., you should fuck with this kid, Mr. Green. He's dope." And everybody always tells you fuck with my producer. So yeah, no doubt. And then one day, I don't know, I just Googled, and that shit came on, and the drums was crazy. I was like, yo, I was kind of jealous. I'm like, that beat's crazy. That shit's crazy. So then when I was working on Legends Never Die, I hit him up. I think I got your email from Paz or somebody.
It was right around the time when I first started working with Jedi Mind Tricks.
Yeah.
But it was really because of Pace One and a heavyweight boxing champ, who's a crazy person, but he's the man. You know what I mean? But you could look him up. He's like legit.
And the Briggs, you know.
Yeah, he's a fucking man. And I love stories like that, where it's just like a weird dinner of, you know, regular people, but people who get busy in whatever they do, and then something comes of it, you know? Wow, it's weird.
And so what do you guys think of like sampling, all the legal and moral implications?
Oh, I hate the new music industry. I fucking hate it. And I hate that the Marvin Gaye estate won that shit. And I hate that Gap Band's one of my favorite groups of all time, but I hate that Mark Ronson had to give them fucking publishing for him saying Uptown Funk Tonight, say up because they said it's too much like oops, upside. It's like, yo, that's hip hop. That's what we do. We flip things and we do chants, and like, I hate where the music industry's going right now. They're trying to kill us, man. They're trying to kill us.
I'll say, like, I don't know how this falls in legally, but morally, and I think it does have to do with legally, like, if you sample some shit and you know it's about to be a song, a lot of people are going to hear. 1,000 people, 10,000, you know? Because I work with street musicians who I meet in person, you know? And I think, like, once you know that song's about to be a real song, you owe them, like, a call, you know? And that call is kind of business. It's kind of being like, yo, I sampled your shit. I just want you to know about it, you know what I mean? And then, I don't know, if you make some money, you should split it with them or do something. But, like, I think that call morally is important, because you don't want to be, like, doing a song that 8 million people hear and the person who played the strings don't even know that it exists. Because if you played the strings, you probably get mad. And I've done that before, you know? But I'm just saying, like, if it's about to be a big song, give them a call, and then that probably will help with the legal shit. If it ends up being a big song, well, that guy did call me. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's my new take on it.
Alright, so you're a boxing fan. It's clear from your video in People's Champ that you have interest in other martial arts too. How do you see the role of martial arts in hip-hop, the link between the two?
Well, you know, the Wu-Tang era, there was a whole bunch of, you know, RZA, that, you know, his whole life is a fucking martial arts movie, you know. And Fushnikins, you know, they came out the box, and the, you know, and Kumo D too, and you know, he was fighting ninjas in the I Go to Work video, which was produced by Teddy Riley. But you know, I think martial arts films, 70s films, was always a part of you know, hip hop culture, and not just hip hop. You know, the streets. You know, a lot of, especially in New York, there was 42nd Street, and they had the, you know, all the kung fu movies playing constantly. So a lot of the poor kids in New York City would go to the theater, and then they had the what was it, every Saturday? What was the Kung Fu Theater or whatever? Where, like, you know, you get a kung fu movie on your television. So kids that grew up in the 70s all grew up on the kung fu movies, and a lot of the 70s babies.
It was like Saturday cartoons. When I was a kid, we had Saturday cartoons, but that was a thing for kids a little bit older than me, like 5-10 years older than me. There was Saturday Kung Fu, which shapes you, you know, like that shit you watch on Saturday morning does shape who you become. So
I grew up on Sho Kosugi. You know, he was the coolest ninja on TV when I was a kid. Revenge of the Ninja, you know. He's like, I follow him on Instagram. You know, he I don't know, he puts cartoons of ninjas on. I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, Sho Kosugi, I'm not gonna unfollow him, you know.
Yeah, you're a big film buff, and you act and direct. How do you
and edit? He won't take credit for that shit, but he edits the videos too.
How do you reconcile your rapper side and your filmmaker side?
You know, I'm almost a filmmaker by force, because you know, I study film. I'm a historian, film historian. So when you don't have big money to hire big directors, a lot of times the best video ideas are going to come from yourself. And I'd rather be able to just hand off the videos to filmmakers. But a lot of times when you do that, it's like little college kids that don't, you know, have like a next level idea or a fun idea or a good idea. So like with minimum budgets, I'm forced to do all, you know, most of it myself, all the editing, all the producing, you know. A lot of the times, you know, a lot of videos I direct myself, and I direct videos for other artists, but it, you know, it was by force more than choice. Like I said, if I had a crew and team of incredible filmmakers, I would rather just do the show up to the set thing, but I just don't have that option. So.
All right. And what would you guys say are your biggest influences outside of hip hop?
Fro?
Movies, definitely. Movies, yeah, definitely movies. Movies is like, I put hip hop first, but movies is definitely a close second. I worship them. I don't have the same attention span as I used to when I was little, because when I was little I would watch like Scarface like 3 times a day and know every word. But I can't really do that anymore. But movies are definitely like my favorite.
He's a historian, like the way he is with hip hop. And he's not just a hip hop historian, he's a music historian too. Like he loves, you know, just all the greats, man. It's from Bill Withers, like he loves all music. But like with film, he's a nerd like that too. Like he knows fucking Roman Polanski's catalog and fucking Kurosawa shit, I imagine, or you know, whoever the fuck. The guy knows. He's just a film geek, man. Like you'd be like, hey, what about this movie? And he'll be like, yeah, it's from 1973. Like, yo, you're a fucking weirdo, man. So he's not just the, yo, I watched Scarface. He has a whole weird catalog underneath him, man. He's a weird kid. What are some of your favorite obscure titles?
Obscure titles?
Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption.
No, that's known. Obscure means not very known.
Oh. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. There's a lot of them that I kind of love. The ones that kind of blew up though. Like I was about to say like Shaun of the Dead, but I'm like, everybody loves that movie. So everybody's seen it, yeah. So I can't really think of any obscure ones.
What about For Your Height Only?
oh man, we take B-movie action movies all day.
Ari's got a movie club sometimes.
Oh, from Dead till, from what is it called? Where he whips motherfuckers with nunchucks to get the ball.
Oh yeah, Dead Beat the Dog.
Dead Beat the Dog. That's my shit. That's my shit right there.
You sampled that. We didn't use it though.
You sent me a piece of
Knocked him out with the nunchucks.
Yeah, we went to your crib, yeah, and it's like, we don't give a fuck.
Oh, I have that beat still.
Yeah,
I have that beat.
yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I gotta put that on some different, something different. That's it.
What's your biggest influence outside of hip hop? This is the last question? Oh, we got one more after that.
No, there's a couple of...
Okay.
One more.
You do. What's your biggest influence outside of hip hop?
Lee Scratch Perry and skate videos. And bike videos, you know? Shit like that.
Alright.
It makes me excited to do the hip hop, so, you know?
I'm the same as him. He's like my little son. I'm the same thing, film. I'm a big film historian, you know? So, film has a big influence on everything I do. I study all the greats, and I study all the shit filmmakers too, you know? So...
Okay, well this this venue that we're at right now is called ViZion, and it's very famous in Geneva for being the biggest alternative scene.
I mean, I'll say, you know, I love the place. I love the crowd. I love the stage. I love the sound. I love this place.
It's a good crowd. A good, fun, like, good crowd, I would say. But
yeah.
My first time here. And a good time.
Cool. We'd like to shout out Worldwide Connects.
Now y'all get ready to jump off the stage. Bring it back one more time. Hallelujah.
Explain it. He's like, it's not my